Equality New Mexico celebrates 30 years of transformation for LGBTQ plus community. Equality New Mexico will advocate for new LGBTQ plus protection during this year's legislative session as it celebrates 30 years as a leading advocacy organization. Kat Sanchez, chair of the board of directors for Equality New Mexico Foundation, said efforts to remove barriers that prevent gay and transgender people from thriving in life have always been the mission. She said New Mexico's long legacy of tolerance is connected to the group's success in advancing human rights for all. This year's proposed legislative policy changes include requiring affirmative consent education for all students and giving 16-year-olds the right to vote in state, local, and school board elections, as well as updating the state's Human Rights Act. Victor Romero-Hernandez, the organization's advocacy associate, had not been born when Equality New Mexico was founded. As a 22-year-old, he finds it disheartening to watch the ongoing discrimination and attacks on members of the LGBTQ plus community nationwide. He says, quote, legislation that is very harmful is being introduced at all levels of government. And so you win, and then all of a sudden there's somebody else trying to derail what you've been working toward, end quote. Legalizing same-sex marriage by the U.S. Supreme Court in 2015 was a milestone for the LGBTQ plus community. Still, Sanchez said there is always more work to do, especially in communities beyond Santa Fe and Albuquerque. Well, this is fantastic. I mean, we're already celebrating 30 years, and that is a great milestone. Think of where they're going to be, say, another 150 years from now. You know, if you can, imagine this far ahead. And I love that they are empowering 16-year-olds to vote. They're finally giving them a license to speak, a license to express, this is what I would prefer. This is what feels right to me. But also, just allow, it's not just the LGBTQ, plus, 16-year-olds that are finally getting inducted into this opportunity to make those choices. For me, it's about them educating their peers. And so you'll get a larger force of kids, under the age of 18 who can say, I understand what these things mean. I know how to move forward, and I'm comfortable with voting for or against whatever it is feels comfortable to them. What a fantastic way to move forward and empowering the youth.
And congratulations to the American Southwest for surpassing the American Southeast. I'm talking to you, Alabama and Mississippi, certainly when it comes to tolerance and acceptance.
Yeah, New Mexico tends to be pretty far ahead on those issues. I love that this kid was not even born when the fight began, but that he's very aware and he's part of, and he's stepping up into that space. And he's saying, this is not okay. We're not accepting this 2 steps forward, 3 steps back thing that you're doing. We see you. I'm only 22, but I'm ready. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to allow this.
No, I'm like allowing, empowering 16-year-old. I think it's so important. They're voting for things that are affecting them in school.
Absolutely.
Right. So they are allowed to drive. Get a license. So they should be allowed to vote for their own rights. So I think it's fantastic, and to find New Mexico in between Texas and Arizona, it's just like it's a shine of light. It's actually very good.
And that is I think is what makes their agenda and their legislation, which of course still has to pass, but makes it the most progressive, is because it's going to start getting 16-year-olds empowered. When we're juniors, at least in Indiana, when we were juniors in high school, you took a U.S. government class. And so it's really an extension of the learning that they should be getting in high school. So I think that's really great. But like I said, all that still has to pass. However,
LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBTQ plus community.